Welcome, Mr. Zhang, to the podcast, The Hydrogen Leader. I'm very happy to have you here.
Thank you very much.
As you know, with this format, we try to inspire professionals to become leaders in the new energy sector and to learn from very professional and successful businessmen like you are. You are the president of the Suzhou Industrial Park. And
Actually, let me remind you that I'm the chairman of SysPark.
right,
Yeah, belong to SIP. Yeah.
right. Please be so kind and introduce yourself. Who is Feng Zhang?
Okay. Thank you very much for having me today. My name is Zhang Feng, or you can call me Feng Zhang.
Right.
And I'm the president of SysPark, which is a state-owned company, belong to SIP government. And actually, I shifted from the government to SysPark 3 years ago. But I have been working in SIP for more than 21 years. Actually, in the first 11 years, since 2004 to 2015, I have been working in the Foreign Investment Promotion Bureau.
Right.
And at that time, I was in charge of the investment from foreign companies, especially from Japan, because I ever studied in Japan. So actually, at that time, China was still very undeveloped. Actually, we have a lot of cheap laborers. We have a lot of cheap land. So a lot of foreign companies, especially from the EU areas or the United States or Japan, Korea, they really rushed to us and did a lot of investment in our Suzhou Industrial Park.
Yes.
So that is what our bureau did at that time. But after that, in year 2015, I was shifted from the government to another state-owned company, which is Nanopolis, Suzhou. And that is also a state-owned company which is focusing on nanotechnologies. So it means that we also created another science park focusing on nanotech. So at that time, I just did a lot of communications with talents related to that industry, especially the nanotech materials, especially a lot of battery materials, or sometimes the hydrogen materials. For example, the cans used in hydrogen industry. We also have some kind of high-tech materials companies at that time. So I worked there for 3 years and attracted a lot of talents, not only from China, but also from all over the world to come to our Suzhou Industrial Park to create their venture companies. So I was so happy and I learned a lot for that 3 years. And after that, I come back to the government again in the late of 2018. Yeah. And at that time, our Suzhou Industrial Park created another new platform, which is Yangtze River Delta Outbound Investment Promotion Center. And I was the director of that center. And that center was is probably in charge of helping the Chinese companies to do the outbound investment. As you know, nowadays, Chinese companies are very interested in investing outside China.
Right.
So we are a very special platform in China, and we can help the Chinese companies to invest their projects very quickly and very efficiently. So I worked there for 3.5 years. And after that, again, I shifted from the government to the SysPark again, 3 years ago, actually 3 years ago. So I'm in charge of SysPark, a very amazing science park focusing on AI industry.
Yeah, and I've been and visited you in Zhuhai, and what I found very impressive is that you developed this entire region roughly in 30 years only into a Chinese powerhouse. Can you explain in a rough way how economically important this region is now for China, and how was this possible?
Yeah, actually 31 years ago in 1994, our Suzhou Industrial Park was created by the two governments of China and Singapore.
Yeah.
And we are very unique, special in China. And actually, at that time, China was still very undeveloped. We have a lot of human resources, and the cost is very cheap. So because of that, and China was open, very open to the world. So a lot of foreign companies just came to do their investment in our park. And on the other time, Chinese population is very huge, and the Chinese nation is a hardworking people.
Yeah.
So they want to create to live a better life.
Ambitious.
Ambitious. So, for example, when I was a child, actually, I felt we are very poor, and even when we can eat pork at dinner, we will feel that we are very happy because we cannot eat pork every day.
Yeah.
And my dream at that time, when I was a child, my dream is that when could I buy a car,
Right.
just like the Western styles.
Yes.
At that time, we really thought that it was a dream, and we don't know whether it will come true or not. So every one of us just tried a lot to study, tried a lot to work, and on the meanwhile, a lot of
life.
yes, and meanwhile, a lot of foreign companies just came and did their investment. A lot of manufacturing factories. So with the efforts from two sides, we just made a great improvement or development in the past 30 years. Of course, because we are Suzhou. Suzhou is a very good location near Shanghai. It only takes you 30 minutes by high-speed railway train and only 15 minutes by car. So because Shanghai is very close to us, so it's very convenient for all the industries to do their business there, and they can hire the good talents with low cost compared with Shanghai.
Okay.
So on that point of view, Suzhou has its own advantage compared with Shanghai.
Yeah.
So that is why, after 30 years development, Suzhou has become China's largest manufacturing industry city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that says something if it is the largest in China, right?
Yeah.
And what I found very impressive, because I visited an entrepreneurial festival with thousands of entrepreneurs, and the slogan of this festival was embracing the challenge to be first. And I find this quite unique because oftentimes Europeans like what is working. But is this the core of the innovation attitude in China, that people strive to be first and they know it's hard, but they go for it?
Okay. Yeah, actually, maybe from the point of view, from the point of education, I think, as we Chinese really focused on the children's education, and if from our childhood, we studied very hard, and the competition is very strict. Yeah. So from our childhood, we just competed with each other among the huge population.
Right.
And once you are a good student and you enter to a good university, and you will have a good opportunity to get a good job. And when you enter a good company or some places, you also have some such kind of thinking. I should be number one. I should work hard to gain a better life.
Right.
So I think from such kind of point of view, in China, we did a lot job, very, how to say?
Passionate.
Yeah, passionate.
And ambitious.
Ambitious, and the competition is always there.
Right. Regardless what you do, there are hundreds and others who might be better than you.
Yeah.
And therefore you make a decision whether you go for it.
Yes, actually I have two kids now.
Right.
They need to work hard and do a lot of homeworks because they have a lot of competition. They have no other choice. Otherwise you quit, or you need to compete with other children. But for example, in EU, in European countries, the population is not so large, everybody have a chance to enter into the universities, but not in China.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's move a little bit to the new energy sector, because I know that also in your park you have a focus on clean energy. How important is this for your park and also for China as a whole?
Yeah, actually, the Chinese central government really focused on new energy industry, and actually, my park, CIS Park, is focusing on AI industries.
Right.
But as you know, AI is very huge. AI plus can go anywhere. So the new energy system is also some kind of our field.
Leads a lot of digital data as well.
Yes, of course. And besides, as you know, we also invested Tier 4 data center and a computing center in our park.
Right.
So we created that facility 15 years ago. Yeah, probably. And nowadays, we can see the energy problem is more and more important. So we are considering how to reduce the emissions,
Right.
and to let our data center more ecosystem or environment friendly. And this is one side. On the other side, we have a lot of high-tech companies, startup companies. They're also doing such kind of AI-driven platforms to support the new energy to develop in China.
Right.
So on the other side, China's government pushes this industry very importantly, strongly. So I think we will have a lot of opportunities to do it together in China.
Yeah, and you are here in Stuttgart in Germany, and because you want to connect between Europe and China. So if somebody is interested to connect with you, what should he do? And how is the best way to get connected with China if people want to build this bridge as well?
Yeah, actually our CIS Park, of course, our SIP is an international area in China because we are cooperated between China and Singapore. A lot of people here can speak English and also a lot of other languages. For me, I can also speak Japanese, and my colleague also can speak German, Spanish, a lot of. So just feel free to contact us without no hesitation.
Yeah.
And besides, there are already more than 5,000 foreign companies here in SIP.
Right.
So you will find a lot of new friends here. Maybe some old friends already they have operated their business in SIP.
And I learned from your presentation here that it's been rated the best place to live in China, which is also important.
Yes.
So you have a very tight schedule. Thank you very much for taking the time to explaining a little bit and giving us a view from China, an original view. Thank you for taking the time and doing this interview with me.
Thank you very much for having me.